Chris Auger, welcome to Flyers TV. So it's Friday night, we've got two big games this weekend. How are you looking forward to the first one against Cardiff tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think you look forward to whatever the next game is. Obviously it's coming down the stretch now, not many games left, so all these games become extra important. And we haven't beaten Cardiff yet this year, but tomorrow's a great opportunity for us.
Cardiff is a team, like you say, that you've never beaten, and they've had some excellent form this season. So how do you go about sort of picking a team like that apart?
I think it's less about them and more about us continuing to do what we did in the second two periods in Belfast and then all games Sunday here. We have to find a consistency to our game, and I think that'll be the key for us to have any success against them.
Last Saturday you tweeted while on the way to Belfast that you're really excited about getting back on the ice.
Yeah.
So I mean, how did that game live up to your expectations?
I was kind of disappointing. Obviously we kind of lost that game in the first period. But as for personally, it was really nice to be out there. It was amazing, the fan support we had that traveled to Belfast. Unfortunate we couldn't provide them with a win or something a little more to cheer about. But it was definitely good to be out there. It was a long 6 weeks that I was out, and I wanted to get back and help the team as soon as I could.
Tell me about that time that you were out. I mean, that must have been really frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much you can do with the injury I had. It was just kind of rest and until the fracture kind of healed, and then it was from there. It was get back in the game shape as fast as I could and try and get back in the lineup as soon as possible. But it was frustrating. It was a long time, but it's in the past now, and just looking forward to the rest of the season.
Were you able to do any sort of fitness exercise?
I mean, before that they got misdiagnosed, I was able to ride and try and keep in shape that way. But when we figured out what exactly it was, we had to go back to the drawing board, and I kind of had to sit around for a couple of weeks. So there's definitely a lot of downtime, but now, towards the end I was riding and then getting back on the ice up to almost like a week and a half before I started playing.
And during part of that time you were on the bench as well alongside Todd. So what was it like being up there, seeing the game from a different angle?
It was just nice to be around the team. That's something you miss when you're not here, is the camaraderie or being a part of it. It was fun for me. I got to kind of just stand there, just be a sounding board for Todd, let him have someone to him talk to while he was up there. I'm sure it gets lonely, but I enjoyed it. It's definitely something that I've already thought about that I want to do in the next part of my life and my career. So it was exciting standing up there. It definitely gives you a different aspect of the game being up there. So it was definitely a different experience.
Last weekend, like you say, not the best start back in Belfast, but then the team regrouped and came back and played an absolute blinder back at home. So what's the difference between those two teams that we saw?
We've been asking that question all year. Work ethic, I guess, would be the major difference. When we put the work in, we obviously see the results. It can't just be one player, it can't be two players, and it can't just be for 20 minutes. You got to play full 60 in this league in order to beat teams, and when we do that, we seem to have a lot of success against the top of the table teams and all the other teams. So this weekend the Key will be playing 120 minutes or however long it takes to get all the points that we need.
Let's have a quick look, kind of back at where you came from. You were drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks
many years ago.
So what's that whole process like?
It was kind of a whirlwind. I was still in junior hockey. I was rated. I didn't actually attend the draft because I was rated kind of in the mid to late round. So I kind of stayed at home, and it just so happened to fall on. I think it was my dad's 50th birthday party, so we kind of had a combined birthday draft party, and it was a lot of waiting around by the phone. I didn't know who I was going to get drafted by, or even if I was going to get drafted. But when I found out, I got the call obviously from GM at the time in Chicago, and my agent called me. It was a pretty surreal experience, something that I'll always remember. But it's just something, when you look back to it, something I can tell, my family that, it's something I achieved in my career. Obviously not the ultimate goal, but it was definitely special.
We asked the fans this afternoon for some for the points that they want to hear about. So one of them that came through was how would you rate your experience with the Flyers?
had a great experience so far. The organization has treated me, unbelievable since the first day we got here. The fans have been, obviously you see this arena every weekend. It's packed. It's been a great experience. It's been a real easy transition for my first year overseas, and I'm very happy with how things have gone.
And that sounds like you want to stay overseas for a few years.
To be honest, I'm kind of at that point in my life where I'll go into the summer and I'll just evaluate where I'm at. Obviously, I got my family, my girlfriend back home, and we got to figure out what's the next step for us. Obviously, I love playing, and I'd like to play as long as I can, but there's other opportunities out there that you always have to look at, and you have to decide at what point is it time to step away. But yeah, if I do play, I assume it'll be in Europe again.
And just sort of briefly, who are the in the dressing room? Who are the sort of big presences? Who are the guys that kind of pick you up? Who are the quiet ones that sit in the corner?
Who are the quiet ones? Well, Hainsey doesn't really have much to say too much of the time. Nicker's voice just carries. You can hear where he is at all times. Him and Ned are always good for a bunch of laughs in the dressing room, along with Bob. Don't hear much out of Beanie. He kind of sits there quietly. We got a lot of characters on this team. It kind of meshes well. We have a good time in it, and we got a good bond in there.
And just finally, so Cardiff we've already spoken about. Then you're down to Hull on Sunday night. So what do you expect out of that game?
Expect the same that they give every game at home or every game they play. They work very hard. They have a lot of talented forwards. We're gonna have to, obviously we're gonna take care of business on Saturday against Cardiff first. Make sure we put in the 60 minutes and a workmanlike effort that night, and then we're gonna, recharge and get ready for Hull, because it's gonna be a battle going down there. And those are points that we have to take, because they're right behind us in the standings, and we want to put some distance between the 7, 8, 9 teams, and maybe start inching closer to that 5th spot, or at the very least, secure that 6th spot throughout the rest of the way. So it's you say every weekend's going to be the biggest weekend of the season, and right now we're at that point.
It's playoff hockey all the way, isn't it?
Exactly, and this is the time of year that everybody plays for. You always say at the start of the year you got to have that playoff mentality, but until you get to this time of year, and then it truly sinks in, because you can see, all your goals are in sight, and the playoffs are in sight, and it's really exciting. And hockey players love playoff time. They love that type of game, and it usually just brings out the best in all athletes.
And just briefly, do you think you can challenge Bobby for the top point scorer in the team?
No, that one's gone. No, Bob's having a great year. He's so consistent with his offensive game and the way he goes about it, and it's something that I think any team in this league would like to have, is someone who consistently puts points up like he does. But no, that's not something that even crossed my mind. I'm just trying to work on my game and getting back to the level where I was playing at, and then everything else will take care of itself.
Chris, thanks very much for joining us on Flyers TV, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.